We still don't know much about our data, but let's at first delete these random numbers. So Control Shift down arrow, delete, Control up arrow. Here we are. And now we're interested in the numbers with which the financial data begins. Here 1, here 3, here 5, here 4. The numbers, the leftmost numbers, or rather the leftmost digits. Okay, now the formula itself is like this. We've used function left before. It equals left parenthesis A1 semicolon 1. This takes 1 from the left side. But remember, left was a text function. It gave us text 1, which is 1 in quotation marks, but it should have given us 1 without quotation marks. Okay. Now we had the similar problem with Social Security numbers a while back. There, left gave us with quotation marks, and then we wanted to check whether it was a man, which meant that it should have started with free, and then we just compared it with free in quotation marks. So we went its way and used free in quotation marks. Here we want to get it nicely to a number. So for that, Microsoft Excel has a function which is called value. Let's write it around left, value, parenthesis begin. And here it is. This gives us now a proper number 1. And let's copy it again the same way we used to. Control C, Control down, Control Shift up, Shift down, Control V. So here it is. And we have all the first digits of our financial data. Let's see what we can make of it. Now, the Microsoft Excel function we're going to be using now, it has to deal with how many 1s, 3s, 5s, 8s are there in those first digits. For that, let's enumerate all the possible digits. These are 0 can't be the first digit naturally, so we just write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, here they are. And now we have a function which analyzes all these 10,000 first digits and tells us how many 1s are there, how many 2s are there. Let's take it as a block. This is again an array function. And let's write equals frequency. Frequency, parenthesis begin. And now we need the data itself as the first thing in the parenthesis of frequency. So let's click on B1, and let's select everything. Now let's do semicolon, and now we need how to divide up this data, and these are the first numbers. We want to divide the data up by them. So we'll see how many 1s are there amongst the first digits. And now we have to again press Control Shift Enter to enter this formula all together. And here it is. Again, we cannot delete from the middle. We have curly brackets around the frequency function and so forth. Let's draw a graph here. This is going to be a scatter graph because we have both things on x-axis and on y-axis. So it's a scatter graph. Insert scatter. Sorry. This is not going to be a scatter graph, but rather let's select all these numbers themselves, and let's do insert a column graph. We will select the first type of column graph because then every number will be a column on its own, not be divided by the column won't be divided by a few numbers. Okay, these series 1 are unnecessary, so we'll delete these. And here we are. We will need the headings, although these happen to be correct headings, but let's put this in place as well. We right click on the corner here and we will do select data, and now we want to put the x-axis labels to correct values. So we select here horizontal axis labels and do edit, and now we select these 1 to 9 numbers and do OK. And here they are. And now something really peculiar can be spotted. Namely, there are 30% of the values are actually number 1s somehow. 17% of the values are number 2s, 13% of the values are number 3s, and only less than 5% of the values are number 9s. So that's what we found out. How come that's true? But let's at first look at the frequency function. So what frequency did was, it tells us how many 1s were there amongst those 10,000. How many were 3s, how many were 7s. So it analyzes the chunk of data and gives us a recap or a summary. Okay, now to the reason why this data seems to have such weird property.